Thank you. And I finally give the floor to Mrs. Costello from Ireland.
Thank you very much, Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Regling, for your presentation here today. I'm from Ireland, and as you know, Ireland has just recently exited the bailout, but we would say that we exited the bailout despite austerity rather than because of it. I think you would also be aware too that the Irish situation is quite different because of the extent of the banking crisis that we have in Ireland. Before the crisis, our debt ratio was about 25%, and then during the crisis and currently our debt ratio is running at 120%, and over 30% of that can be accredited to the banking debt that we have. Now, at the time that the government went for the bailout as well, the Irish government didn't have the option of a bail-in, and indeed even subsequent efforts to try and bail in senior bondholders, particularly unsecured senior bondholders, were met with fierce resistance from the ECB, and indeed we tried to question Mr Trichet on this yesterday in relation to his role in threatening the Irish government. It's alleged that he said that a bomb would go off and that bomb wouldn't be in Frankfurt, it would be in Dublin. If Ireland did in any way try to bail in or burn the senior bondholders. So, as you were aware too, in June 2012 there was a really important decision made in terms of breaking the link between sovereign debt and banking debt, and it was viewed at that stage that Ireland was a special case and that there was agreement that there would be a facility for recapitalisation of two of the solvent Irish banks, AIB and Bank of Ireland. And that has subsequently been the subject of much discourse. But I'd just like to ask you, would you support the Irish call for direct recapitalisation of those two banks, which are solvent, and to say that Ireland is a different case, since it didn't have the opportunities that are available now, that it should be considered for some direct recapitalisation of the banks?
Yes, you're right that certain instruments that we are developing now, particularly the BRRD, and it's still not in place, but we are now actively working on it, were not available 3 years ago. That's correct, and if it were, certain things could have been done differently. You're also right to say that in June 2012 there was a general commitment to break the link between banks and sovereigns. But there's no consensus to do this retroactively. The Eurogroup has said this could happen in exceptional circumstances, but as you know, it requires a unanimous decision, and I don't see that consensus to be there. At the same time, I think one should keep in mind that Ireland has received particular benefits from the ECB. Benefits is not the right word, particular generous refinancing of certain government bonds which were issued in the context of the bank restructuring. So that already goes some way in breaking the link between banks and sovereigns, because without that operation the burden on the budget would have been bigger. Also the fact that the maturity of EFSF loans for Ireland was extended a few months ago from 15 to 22 years at the very low interest rates that we do charge, means an extra relief for the Irish budget. And I'm not sure it would have happened without the other considerations that you referred to. So there are benefits given. Whether more can happen, I don't know. That's the political decision of the Eurogroup, and it requires consensus.
But it would also require your support, and would you be willing to indicate your support for such a move?
Well, I can only repeat what I said, that there has been special consideration being given to Ireland through maturities, from the ECB, that we had a different situation. But it doesn't help what I think. We need a consensus in the Eurogroup, and I see that there's great reluctance to use this new instrument in a retroactive way.